June 15th, 2025, number 1202, keywords built by Key. We are the world's last and first 100% gifting mega trillionaire, with no exceptions. My group, I'm KeithBrentDuncan.org. We're the ones who invented the backbone of the internet. In fact, we have a portfolio of patents, over 150 patents that are going to unify the world. The first is Unocracy.org, which is so simple. It is Evote.one. We pick the project, direct funding, we pick the leader. If we don't like the leader, we replace them. No more appointed anyone, no more underground criminal network, because everyone's going to know who is who. Through an open public database, its legacy, historical significance. We've got 713 LV about to pass behind us. Well, that's KeithAirService.com, based out of Peachtree DeKalb Airport, but it's a universal system. You see, if we don't have any stock options, corporate bonuses, particularly cyber criminal terrorist attacks, you hold on to your own assets. ReinvestALL.com is exactly that. Only local banks, everyone using solution bank fraud of unhackable read-only memory databases. And only privately held companies means that if you put your money into a company, whatever that amount is, you become their advisor. So they won't squirrel away your money and steal it and leave you high and dry, destitute, in debt, and slave traded. This has been going on for 6,600 years. Our original invention, well, we have a huge series, happened to be the original selfie stick. ICStand.org that would have generated $5 million per month, except Robert D. Rose, who's still at large because he has a secret deal with people inside the USA government to have me killed. That's called murder for hire conspiracy. Robert D. Rose paid off basically everybody in Cobb County, Gwinnett County, Cherokee County, Forsyth County to deny the return of my own assets, which are worth more than $40 billion US dollars. In fact, we're the world's first trillionaires who give 100% back to build future city.life. The most fundamental, everyone runs their own company by using our new business process of Team Money Machine. Here's our current churches. There's two of them, but there's really every church in the world benefits. Reverend Josh Miles is right here. There's his phone number. And, of course, our church at Oak Grove United Methodist Church. We've been here. Well, our history is phenomenal. Now, for those that whine and hypocrites, cynics, blinded fools, and particularly criminal brood of vipers, that's Matthew's chapter 23. In fact, we're living the Bible, the Scripture, at every level by creating OneTestament.org, which is the final stage after the Old Testament, New Testament. Now it's the One Testament. So we actually do show this to people who are crybabies. It doesn't matter how wealthy they are or how criminal they are. We show them a pacifier. Put this in your mouth and suck on it, because I don't want to hear you fussing and complaining that you're not a hardened criminal, known as a Lucifer worshiping con artist, pathological terrorist from all the previous broadcasts we've made. You see, we spent our entire career, mostly Atlanta, Charlotte, and Birmingham, creating the world's state-of-the-art de-weaponized technology. Oh, that's ecologymining.org, turnofflights.com, Solution Safe Water. It's all based upon educating you, the people, that you have a moral responsibility to solve your own problems, to be a sage visionary. And the most powerful system is PeaceSummit2020.com. You get it? Perfect vision. All over the world presidents and head of states will now sign peace treaties and trade agreements of Article 4 of God's Constitution, which is SolutionManifesto.com. Took us 40 years to correct that and perfect it, because I work directly with God, not for God. I work with God as his left-hand best man. son of mankind, as modeled as monk King Solomon. The credentials are also at Find Keith a Wife, because it's 100% about relationship remanagement, where you now become a peacemaking, problem-solving expert, and you focus on your community, now called not only unocracy.org, futurecity.life. You manufacture all your own products and resources because you're going to have unlimited access to everything underground: gold, silver, copper, raw materials, particularly concrete rock. And we store water in the upper level mountains, so that, well, I don't like any of the holding companies. They're holding companies. We're going to go back to privately held companies, and that stabilizes the economy as only middle class, debt free. The original word is homesteading. You earn enough money, you stay out of debt. Destroys the banking industry, destroys the brokesters and the banksters that really went extreme with J.P. Morgan in 1893. And he set it up so they did legalized embezzlement, which means they controlled every transaction and took the first profits. I even have ProfitKeith.com, spelled both ways. You see, when you're your own small business owner, you have a moral responsibility to solve your own problems. The use of the Gods Generator 5 steps.life. Go back and look at the history of what happened to me. I'm kidnapped on October 3rd on a 2-line email I never sent from LinkedIn that Robert Rose claimed 3 days later was the same video that puts him and Amy Rose in prison, even death row, for child endangerment. That was the whole basis for then canceled Cobb County TPO 11.1.1171, 11.1.1171, that was canceled July 15th, 2011. So the only reason that Robert D. Rose had been cyber tracking, hacking me, and following me and disrupting my Fortune1.org multi-billion trillion dollar company was because he wanted me dead, along with my own Douglas Vernon Duncan. Then when Sherry Duncan, my ex-wife, and 2 sons got involved, and Miss Bashama robbed me, Marietta Police Report 1.11.2506, they switched it. They claimed that I robbed myself and that I kidnapped somebody, felony offense, and my attorney, Barry Victor Reynolds, who's a criminal, refused to go arrest Miss Bashama. See, if anyone had done a single thing that I paid them to do, you would already be a multimillionaire. You'd be out of debt. You'd have your own home, your own business, your own community of futurecity.life. And it was really extreme back in, well, I go back in history, 1976. Our high school graduating class was called Spirit of 76. We knew how to solve any problem in the world because that's what God sent us to do. And because we work directly with God and Mother Earth, we're showing everyone how to basically clean up and reverse climate change polluter warlords. 100% about criminals, con artists, scammers. Anybody who violates your rights has violated Article 1, 2, and then Article 3 is Human Bill of Rights. It's only 19 lines. Call us immediately and provide us protection, because we demanded the USA government protect our lives, and then we asked our churches to protect our lives. Then we've asked all the corporate executives in the world. In fact, we've asked you to protect our lives this entire time, post January 15th, 2008, when the whole world went upside down. Everyone went back to worshiping Lucifer, which is called sin, vice, and weapon of mass destruction, crime. So we wrote WorldWar4.org, and we wrote LuciferAgenda.org, and we also wrote the 13 plagues that have already occurred. Total destruction of humanity. So you have no choice but to stand up and stage peacemaking town hall forums. Rallies are fine, but they're a whole lot better when they're at round tables in your community, and all the world presidents now signed Article 4 of unocracy.org, which is stated succinctly in the first 23 pages of Godsconstitution.org. You see, everything was destroyed by Sherry Duncan, the two boys, Brian Walker, and then everybody else. We lost 50 years of work, which is the multi-trillion-dollar your small privately held companies. And the banking industry will now go entirely privately owned using unocracybank.org, using kbitcoins.org as one international credit debit system. We're going to cancel out now. We also have a new transportation industry, and basically we're giving everything, we're giving everything away. But we can't recover $4.2 million or a $500 million lawsuit, DuncanClaim.org, until you and everybody else, specifically Governor Brian Kemp. He's at 404-656-1776. Chief of Staff is Lauren Curry. We've already visited John Ossoff's main office at 271 17th Street, Atlantic Station, Suite 1510. In fact, we've been visiting everybody, and all we hear is 51% majority. All we hear is polarization. Oh, we're them. Oh, we're them. We hate them. And the more you fight each other over the politics, nothing will ever get done. In fact, it gets best. No, it gets worse. It gets as worse as it can possibly be because you are not taking moral confidence and moral authority, called family moral values, of Gods Constitution.org to deal with anything. Everyone I've encountered ends up being a criminal after Robert D. Rose on January 15th, 2011. No, 2008. I have photographic memory. I can remember things when I'm 3 and 4 years old. You can't. So the whole system is to raise your IQ and surround yourself with bright, smart people. And when reinvestall.com shuts down the stock market, it shuts down all the corporate executive bonuses, the stock options, the corporate aircraft, and we'd be the biggest redistribution of around $450 trillion back to the victims, 1% through my corporation, Fortune1.org, that was registered as CreatorKeith.com in Reno, Nevada on December the 23rd, 2014. And then I went to Europe. No, I went to China, expecting fully to get my multi-million dollars per month income so I could come back and demand that Robert D. Rose be seized, along with everybody else, over 150 people at DuncanClaim.org. And yes, I'm having to repeat this over and over again, that I did no harm. I'm effectively sinless, but you're not, including all my pastors and church people. Everywhere I go, people are hiding, claiming, oh, somebody will show up to save you. You haven't prayed hard enough. And my Father God and Jesus Christ and all the other guardian angels are refusing to help anymore because humanity wants to kill themselves. You want to kill yourself. You won't admit it, but you're too busy worshiping Lucifer and buying into the worst lies of all, that if you sell your assets, if you sell your soul, you're going to heaven. And you'll have unlimited sex, unlimited food, unlimited gambling. You'll walk streets paved with gold. Well, that would be awful boring within about 30 minutes, wouldn't it? In fact, the only value of the angels, including myself, is to help humanity move forward as only peacemaking, problem-solving, subject matter experts, SME. It's what we've been doing our whole life. We've always been 30 years ahead of the rest of the world, and that's why we originally wrote followkeith.com. But I don't need people to follow me. I need people to go with me to recover the greatest purge of all time, which is the old posse citizens arrest system, where everyone goes after the criminals that hide. Every criminal in the world steals, pathological liars, then they hide, and then they recruit other people called mafia to destroy all evidence of their victims and of themselves, particularly of themselves. That's manhuntall.com. So we finished everything. So when we get rid of all the criminals in the world peacefully and exile them and isolate them, a lot of them will go on death row. That's called military tribunals, just like the Nuremberg trials, because I was in Germany at Nuremberg with my family back in 2005, I believe. Call us directly, and you will be paid what you're worth after you complete the projects that we've assigned you, using your own best expertise and personal experience. We're at Peachtree DeKalb Airport on June the 15th, 2025, number 1202 series. Call us directly and protect our lives, as we've been demanding over the website because we can't get anyone honest. Just sit down and have a face-to-face conversation, including Governor Kemp, even our pastors and people. Everyone says, oh, we're too busy, or we're not interested. We could never take away their authority. And the number one key question, there's quite a few, answer the 5 top questions on the top of unocracy.org. You'll find them in yellow. Ask who gave you authority to determine that you were an omni-god, that you were Lucifer. They can't answer that because they gave the authority to themselves. Other best question in the world is, if you had unlimited resources, which means full power, full authority, everything in the world necessary, what would you do to change the course of human history to benefit everyone else before yourself? Most people say, I don't know. Well, that means you're worshiping Lucifer. You're a devil. You're satanic. You're demonic. The people that actually understand this will know that you have to benefit your neighbors and your community and your family before you even think about yourself. That's called rebirth. And our one person, quite a few, but the one key person that we've been debriefing and coaching since, it was October the 19th, 2011, is Thomas Joseph Haig out in Las Vegas, which I call Lost Wages in Sin City. We're going to convert it to be Save City. In fact, you're going to save your own self. You're going to liberate yourself with Evote.one and PeaceSummit2020.com, so everyone can live in a country club type environment. Always about protecting the children, the elderly, and the women, because the men are the ones that are the predators since the caveman days.